What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Groomer podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and today I'm sitting with a new friend, a close friend of mine from location. He's only about 30 miles north of me, up in Capel, Texas. His name is Brandon, and he is a full-time college student, a semi-pro soccer player, and he runs a grooming business with a team of 7. It's a family business that him and his family started 2 years ago, around this time in 2023. So Brandon, thanks so much for sitting down to join us today. A last briefer for the audience here. Today's podcast episode is going to be all about social media. We're going to talk about Brandon's content strategy, their engagement and community building, how to go viral. They've done it all over at Picoco, which is the name of his salon. And that's what initially sparked my interest to get Brandon on the podcast. We get a lot of questions about scheduling and social and all that sort of stuff. And Brandon and his team have, as close to figured it out as I can call it. You should go check out their content. It's incredible. And we brought Brandon on today, the man behind the screen, to share not only a little bit more about Picoco, but how he's built out this content, social media engine, let's call it, for his business. So Brandon, that was quite an intro, man. Thanks so much for sitting down and joining us.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Alex. It's a pleasure and honor to be here with you and also sharing all the advice that people need to get a little bit more educated in the social media world, because right now, social media is literally dominating right now. I mean, a little bit of backstory of my own self. I started doing social media since I was actually I think I was already turning 12 at that point, because I started with YouTube, like doing daily vlogs, doing videography and this and that, all just with my iPhone. And so one of my piece of advice, actually right there, you don't need to start so fancy or with a lot of equipment. All you need is just a good voice, yourself, and just your phone right here. As soon as you start growing a little bit, then eventually you can get yourself a mic and all that equipment, but nothing so fancy. But yeah, man, I mean, I'm really happy to be here.
That's awesome.
I'm ready for all the questions to spread all the education out there for social media.
Yeah, dude, I've been looking forward to this episode for a while because honestly, Brandon, I'm young, right? But I feel like I don't have great grips on social media myself, and so giving out advice when it comes to that sort of stuff, I don't feel as confident as it. And again, the proof is in the pudding of what you guys have done, and so I'm really glad that you're here today to share a bunch of this stuff. I've had it circled on the calendar for a little while now. So, all right. So before we get started, I want to just talk a little bit about Picoco so we can get some context. So it started 2 years ago in September. I think I read somewhere that you guys named it after your grandma. Is that right?
Yes. My grandma's real name is actually Socorro. But when you have that kind of name in Mexico, you go by Coco. And it's an interesting story because it's already been 4 years. I've seen my grandma like in person now, the first time ever since that first time I've seen her. But I told her, I remember I was like very excited at meeting her, and she just truly gave me this spiritual or like heartwarming inspiration from her, because I see where she grew up, and she told me all her stories of her background, where she was born in Oaxaca with literally in the jungle, just her donkeys with 4 kids on her back. And her story is really inspiring to me because it just gives me this idea of like, if she can make it, if she made it out of there, then I can uplift my whole family. I can do bigger things out there in the world that will spread a really great environment around me. And so a little bit of her, she's super, super proud of how we've grown. She doesn't work there, just FYI for people who think she works there.
So she was like the inspiration, Brandon, to start the salon.
Yes, yeah, she was the inspiration. But growing up, she's always had a lot of dogs too in her ranch. And I mean, it was more for like work labor and all of that. But she really loved them so much that she even started also at that time design aesthetic colors
Okay.
of Oaxaca culture. And so she would put those colors on her dogs. And then that's where I also got inspiration to start designing those colors as well.
Awesome. Okay. So, Grandma, I'm not even going to pretend to say the name, but Grandma Coco was our
Yeah,
inspiration
yeah.
salon. Why dog grooming, man? Do you have a history of dog grooming, or does anyone in your family, or was it something that you were like, you know what? I really love dogs. I'm going to learn it and we're going to figure it out on the way.
Yeah, I mean, it started off with my experience. I was first starting as a bather with like several companies back then, and I just enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but honestly, I'm young. I don't really care with like the dirty work and stuff. I really like I have 43 dogs. I've already grew up with so many dogs growing up, and so I'm just like, man, this is something that I can do something with. Maybe open a dog grooming salon. And my dad also at the same time worked as a bather as well with me, and so we're like, you know what, we should do something now. Like we should open our own shop. We should just start something together. And we're like, okay, let's do it. It was kind of risky at the time because I was a freshman. I was barely getting my freshman year in college, and so it was quite hard of a balance to start a business fresh out of the ground and then be a full-time student. But I was like, you know what, it's gonna work out. We have a good strategy of how the business gonna be, and so eventually we opened Picoco, and that's where it all started.
History, man. Okay, so let's open up this master class of getting started with social media at Picoco. So when you guys first opened, how important was social media to getting those first clients?
uh, it's super important because you always have to start at some point from the very ground. Because I mean, what I did was I was already having a huge brand with my personal account. And from there, that's where I already had like potential clients or an audience that focuses on dogs. And so I was like, you know what? I can start now creating a different account where it just focuses on just dogs itself. And from there, I just started like documenting our behind the scenes of opening up Picoco. And that's something I also want to share with everyone who's watching this. When you are doing anything, like if you're trying to start working out, if you're starting a business, whatever it is, document it because people love watching that, because it's now all of a sudden a trend right now that's going on. If you document the behind the scenes like a mini vlog, back then it used to be like long vlogs, like maybe 4 minutes or 10 minutes, but nowadays it's more like real TikToks and all that. And if you have it in a vlog that's like maybe 1 minute, people are gonna be engaged and they're gonna be watching all day, and that's where you get followers. So I would
Okay.
say it's super important to start as soon as possible in the beginning.
I mean, dude, you're already releasing the sauce, and we're not even like 4 minutes into this thing. Okay, so let me reflect here. I'm gonna play the dumb student as you're the expert teacher here. So, maybe an easy strategy one, whether you're starting from scratch and just getting into being a business owner, or you've had your business forever and you just want to start social media. Lesson one or strategy one is document the behind the scenes. We'll call this the behind the scenes strategy, right? Let's dig into this one a little bit deeper. We know that it's free. It doesn't cost us money. We're already doing this, right? We know that we don't need equipment, right? We can use our iPhone or a regular phone or whatever. And we know that they don't need to be super long and scripted. So I think that's a good base. Talk to me a little bit more, Brandon, about what platforms should we put this stuff on? How should we actually is it spontaneous, or is it, all right, hey, just as you're doing it, record? Talk to me a little bit about like the logistics of it.
That's actually a super great question. How would I start off? I mean,
Maybe
I would post.
maybe first tell me about what channel are you seeing? Maybe even just dog grooming right now. would it be worth our time to be posting on?
Where it's worth to post at the time right now is Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. The reason why is because there's a little bit of a backstory with these platforms, is that YouTube is partnered up with Google. And so what you want to focus on is just getting your name out there and allowing Google to increase your chances of getting watched or getting potential clients. And so YouTube, what it's really interesting, what they'll do is that Google will prioritize YouTube to be looked up the most. So if you're posting on YouTube, such as shortcuts, you're more than likely going to be up there. And then Instagram and Facebook, since it's meta business together, they're tied together, and that's where literally everybody's at right now. And Instagram and Facebook is more for educational videos. And so grooming, of course, if you start posting content about like educational things, that's where people will find to have access to gain something or gain kind of knowledge. And then TikTok's really great right now, but it's more for in the entertainment and short-term kind of content that you want to be posting out there. So funny videos, cool transitions, cinematics, and all of that. So those are the 4 platforms I would be starting with. But if I was to give advice to someone, because 4 platforms is too much, to be honest, I would start off with Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Depends on what you're more comfortable with. If you're more of a Facebook person, then start on Facebook and then start posting on Instagram. Or if you're more of an Instagram person, start Instagram and then post on Facebook. Because you can also do this one thing that you can post at the same time, where if you activate this link, that'll post your videos at Facebook and Instagram at the same time, since they're all together in the same partnership.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so Instagram and Facebook. And
Yeah.
we talked about the behind the scenes footage being an easy starting point, a low cost. You don't need to have a lot of like editing skills or anything, or heavy equipment or anything like that. Can you give us a couple other ideas, Brandon, on, aside from behind the scenes stuff, what type of content seems to perform best on Instagram and Facebook? Is it predominantly videos? And if so, are these like, maybe like me talking and giving tips? Are they predominantly photos? And is it like before and afters? Give me just some ideas on, like, if we were to circle in on Instagram and Facebook, what are some other types of content that we could do that's not behind the scenes footage?
Yeah. So you're right. You don't need a big budget or any kind of fancy editing softwares to win on Instagram or Facebook. What performs best is really simple and authentic content. Like some of our top performing videos are just filmed on an iPhone, like I said, with natural light and a clean background. But the number one thing I would start off with a strategy is like raw grooming transformations, like your before and after clips sped up with like trending audio, which is super important as well. And then minimal editing, but a huge engagement. What that means, you don't need to do so much in the extra stuff of like the fancy things in the editing. You don't need the time to also learn how to edit. So that's why I would keep it as simple as you can on those transition videos. Because if you have a good trending audio, it'll blow up.
All right, I'm gonna play the dumb student here, Brandon. What do you mean, man? What is good trending audio? Where do I find that? Are these like native in the the Instagram app, or do I need a separate app for this? Again, I'm gonna ask the low questions here, because I really want us to get every section of this detail.
Yeah. And Alex, you're not dumb. Nobody's dumb or nobody's low.
I appreciate
It's just
that.
this kind of knowledge or education
Yeah.
is super important. And I think it's really not bad if you ask questions like that, because it's literally what I asked myself years ago too. So nobody's low, don't feel bad or anything, but I think I really appreciate you asking me this question. But what I would do for the trending audio is Instagram already has all the options, and Facebook too, of all the options of kind of audio you can use. And so what I would use is what kind of music or what kind of audio is trending at the moment. If you scroll through, the first top ones are the ones that are trending right now. And then you can also see a number right underneath the title of the music. How many people are using that audio? How many reels, how many posts are people using that audio? If you see a huge number, then go ahead and use it. But what I would also try to aim for is a number that's not super competitive, because then your chances are a little bit low. You should just go a little, maybe 20-25% of a number down, and then you can use the audio on whatever video you're trying to do.
Okay. So we can do that native in the Instagram app. So to start from scratch.
Facebook too. Yeah.
Facebook too. Okay. So strategy 2, if we were to do a grooming transformation video on Facebook or Instagram to the trending audio, we would record that on our iPhones. We could record that on our iPhones, and then we could put it into Facebook or Instagram, and they have an editor, and I could put the video in there and then scroll through to find the trending audios. I want to find one that's popular, but maybe not the most popular, and then I can go ahead and publish directly through there.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. But what I would also do, once you start getting a little bit comfortable with the Instagram or Facebook like their editing software that they already have when you use an audio, I would start now heading towards an app called CapCut. It's more of a broad and better app than Instagram or Facebook to edit videos, because you have better like fonts of the text, you have better uh, you have better audio as well, and then you also get to clean up more of a like the like small little things that you can take out of the video. And so once you're comfortable with that, then you can just move on to the app called CapCut.
Awesome. That's great, man. All right. So I feel like I've got my stack in front of me now. I know I can use my iPhone. I know I can use Instagram or Facebook or the app called CapCut, and then I can just post stuff. Okay. A burning question of mine has always been, Brandon, I am super intimidated by like social media, like calendars and schedules, right? For the longest time, I feel like, and for a lot of folks, I feel like that's kind of like a big, hairy, scary beast, right? Like, yeah, I know I should be doing social media and I know I want to, but to sit down and put in the time to build a schedule and remember to post and just to stay consistent is really tough. Do you have any tips on consistency there? Do you recommend using a schedule, or do you recommend just going off the fly? I mean, what can you talk about here to just, once we post that first video, how do we keep going?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I wouldn't rush it, because when you're starting, you have to figure out, okay, what's working for me? What's my niche? And then how can I repeat this exact content that's performing well? And so what I would just do is just to experiment. I would post educational videos, funny videos, trending videos, and the list goes on. And so whatever works out for you that perform the best, repeat the one that perform really great for you, and then go on moving forward with that, like posting every single day, or you can post like maybe 4 times a week. Because if you go like posting every single day, but nothing's coming in, or at least you don't see sort of a difference of results, then you're gonna drain yourself and burn yourself to the point you're like, what's the point of social media? It's not working for me. It's all a lie. Because that's what happened to me in the beginning with my YouTube videos. I wasn't doing it. I was posting every single day. I was rushing the work too. And if you burn yourself, you tend to do the work really terrible.
Yeah.
And so I would just start off with, like I said, experiment, figure out what works for you, and then repeat that. And then that's where you can go, okay, I'm going to post every single day, or 3 to 4 videos a week.
Okay. I like that.
And with the scheduling, I just do it every week, 3 to 4 videos. Sorry, no, 2 to 4 videos a week. Because we're busy at the end of the day. And right now I can now like perf- I already figured out my rhythm of what is going to perform well. But with people, I would just figure out a day that fits for you to record your raw footage. Let's say on the Monday you do it, and then from there you can edit your videos on Tuesday and Wednesday, or let's just say 2 videos you want to be posting a week, and then you can just post those 2 videos maybe on a Friday or Sunday, and then repeat that again over and over, and then you can eventually start posting more.
Okay, nice. Brandon, I have a weird question for you. Like, what is the greater why of like putting in all that time to post on social, right? Is it to get just like more followers because that gets more credibility, or is it to ultimately get new clients, or is it to appease current clients? Like, what is the like the why, that it's worth putting in the time and energy to social media?
Okay. Mm, that's a great question. I actually never been asked that actually.
Well, you're okay. Well, like, when
Well,
you guys, like, for example, I would imagine this week, like, you're a busy guy. You got classes, you've got the salon, you've got clients, you've probably got your own schedule, right? Like, you've got all this stuff going on.
yeah.
Why take the time to put out 2 to 4 videos this week?
For me, it's just there. It's two things too, and I'll dig deep into it. But for me, number one is because it's my responsibility as a business owner. You're at the importance of like running a business is your accounting, finance, all those basic things, and one of them is actually your marketing. And so my biggest strength is social media, and social media is really popping right now in general. And so I need to take advantage of that, and to make to make um, to make all of these clients coming in, trusting us, and actually helping each other out on that. Because, for an example, since there's a team in this business, I'm the one more responsible with the marketing. No one else. My dad just doesn't focus nothing on marketing. I tell you, okay, don't focus on marketing. I got you. Let me go ahead and do this for you. Let me figure it all out. So we all have to sacrifice something. And then the second thing is because the why for me is really simple, because social media is like a huge connection to me. It's how people get to know who we are before they even step into the salon. And when someone sees our posts, they don't just see a growing transformation, they see the love, the care, the personality behind Picoco, and that builds a lot of trust with anyone. They don't have to be clients, it just can be people in general who, let's just say, wants to own a pet or first time getting the dog. They'd be like, oh, wow, that's the beauty of having a dog. That's the beauty of falling in love with a dog, actually. And so that's my biggest why on why I do a lot of social media for this kind of industry.
You answered my question, whether you believe it or not, that, okay, you do see it as a reason that, like, that it has business impact. And that's what I was getting after is, is it a
Yeah,
marketing, is it a branding thing? Is it, for new clients, existing, et cetera? And at least in that second answer, you said that, hey, it's important to us at Picoco that potential new clients know what we're all about before they get here. And you believe that your
yeah,
social media is able to show that and express the personalities behind the scenes and show that you guys actually do care. And I think that is, an important thing for professionalism too, right? Like, how many times, especially as our generation, chosen a business or a product, not because we are 100% certain it's the best, but because we like the people behind it, right? I know personally, like,
yes,
I make a lot of
yes,
decisions on a day-to-day basis because I really like the team and the people behind it. I think what you guys are
yes,
doing with social media, that's why it's worked so well. I'm
yeah,
curious,
yeah.
I'm curious, Brandon,
Mhm.
with your guys' social media so far, it's been 2 years. I've seen some of your guys' viral posts. Um, how much of your guys' new business, new clients have seen you guys on social media before coming in?
So it used to not be so much. It would just be like I said, from my personal account to where people who were potential people who wanted to support me, and then friends and family. But now it's been more it's more like extremely huge on the audience that we have. Based on the statistics, we have people coming from Frisco, Garland, people in all the cities in Dallas, and even different countries like Mexico, Japan. And so we've had people actually traveling. We've actually had this one client that traveled from Japan because they thought we were a franchise. And the good thing, well, I mean, it was an honor meeting him, but I mean, he DM'd us saying that, hey, I want to make a collaboration video. Like, is there a way, or is there an email that I can contact who is the actual? And I'm like, that's me. I'm like, it's just a small business. We only have one shop right now. And then I'm like, you're more than welcome if you want to come, but we're not that huge, like compared to what he's doing or other companies out there. And
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, I want to fly out there. I want to bring my dog. And
that is
he
so
brought
cool.
his beach on pool. We cut his dog's hair, and he's a groomer too. And so he's like, yeah, you guys have the skills and everything. But honestly, that video, that trend, I found you guys of like, I want to see you guys. I've always wanted to go to Texas, you said, and I want to check out you guys. So I'm like, all right, man, thank you so much. And so I'm still not done editing the video. It's sort of a long video. It's also gonna be like a vlog, but
That's awesome, dude.
yeah,
And
it's a
that's
lot of people
like
who's
that
been
like
seeing us.
that like second level of just like constantly putting out stuff is you get to build these relationships and these connections with people across the industry and across the world. Obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Just stuff you would never expect happening, right?
And
Um,
and and sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to also throw this out there of the importance of social media is that you run up to a lot of opportunities just by a simple text message on Instagram or Facebook DMs or anything like that, because people are watching you. If you start building something on social media, you're gonna get a bunch of views, and there's gonna be at least just one person who wants to build a relationship with you or who wants to collab or whatever. So I highly encourage you, because you never know, you might have a brand ambassador maybe in the future like who's really huge, but you really get to build really great connections and relationships, and I've honestly enjoyed it so far.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. Again, I think you're right. Even like back to your original strategy, having just even like a personal record of like, dude, here's a legit behind the scenes look at everything we've been doing for the last 2 years and how we built this business.
Yeah,
Cool at the end of the day, personally, that right, and you're always going to affect somebody that sees it and maybe the chance to make a difference. I'm curious, Brandon, do you ever wade into those groomer groups over on Facebook?
yes, that, oh, thank you for throwing that out there. Actually, that's super important too, because obviously the best way to get clients is word of mouth. If it comes from, let's say, an aunt came into my shop, that aunt's gonna tell her mom, her dad, or whoever,
Yeah.
right? And so in Facebook, there's this group chat that I'm in, and from that I'm in Copel, that people are just constantly talking about us. Oh, 2 days ago, this lady said there's this Frisco group chat of like all small businesses, and she asked, hey, where do you recommend me to go? And a bunch of people, she said there was like 80 comments of people saying go to Picoco. I was
Dude,
like,
come on.
you need to share me this group chat and also show me a screenshot, because I'm honestly kind of like, dang, I can't believe it. That's actually happening.
Blown away, dude. No, 100%. I mean, that kind of wades into your world too of the marketing stuff of just like, okay, even though like a bunch of those business owners aren't your, maybe your clientele, the importance of like networking and like just telling people you exist and where you guys are at to check you guys out is important, even if it's not, even if that guy that owns the paint shop in Capel is not your ideal client, if he is in a Facebook group or has a recommendation, they'll spread your word if they know who you guys are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the also cool thing about those group chats and small businesses in general is that we also get to uplift and help each other out. Because I mean, we've partnered with so many small businesses out there, and they're even clients of ours too. That I just tell them like, hey, if you want to bring in your cards, your flyers, do whatever you want, put them right there. Or if you want to post something, then we'll collab with you. Like, it's I'm not gonna like nowadays. A lot of people who are extremely huge would charge the persons just to collab, which I understand why. But I'm just like, no, like I'm trying to. I want the whole community to grow together. I want everyone to. I like seeing people doing really well.
Yeah,
Or even if it doesn't turn out well for them, I still like encourage. I still want to. I still wish them or hope them the best because I don't know. I guess that's just how I was raised from my
yeah,
parents and from my grandma that we just always look the positive side for everyone.
that's awesome, man. No, I think you're doing the right thing. Well, okay, so you've covered um, content creation. You've covered kind of like the tooling and logistics behind it. It's covered
Hmm.
scheduling and even using Facebook, etc. Um, I know this podcast isn't going to air today, but could you? I don't know if you know this stuff top of mind, but I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Are there like, is there a trend or two that you've noticed that is almost just like consistently working, right? And whether that be like, oh, just posting like this or posting like this, just like a couple like very consistent tactical things that like I could stop listening to this podcast, go take my phone and go do this right now. And the odds that like, you know, it's good and like it comes out okay are pretty high.
Um, I think it's one of the trends that you can actually do, and I highly encourage everyone doing, is getting in front of the camera and literally, like I told you from the beginning of this interview, document your grooming or your business or whatever you're doing because there's just this whole trend going on right now. In fact, we're still doing it, and we just got into it actually. Is you're just in front of the camera talking about what your situation is. For example, that one of the videos that we're posting today is us partnering up with foundation and then talk about it and then change to like different clips of you just walking or you with the mic just talking to the audience. But the thing is with that trend, it's not just about you sharing what you're talking about, it's about like the different transitions that you're going into. Like for example, this carnival that we just posted, it's like different clips that's cutting off. But what I also is think I think it's very important as the trend itself is your hooks. So
Dude,
are your
you just
hooks
opened up
very
a whole nother chapter. All right. So we'll finish with this chapter. Tell us, Brandon, you just said hook, like just as important as the actual content are the hooks. What is
yeah.
it?
So your hooks. So why do hooks matter? You only have like 3 seconds before someone scrolls your post. It's just simple as that because people are just scrolling every single day. So when you have 3 seconds, and the hook is the headline of your video that determines what the people are going to be watching or
Okay.
ignore you. So great content without a hook is like a great book with a boring cover and no one opens it.
Funny.
And
Okay.
so
So
it's
so
uh,
it's like the cover. So to put it in like real words and terms, if I'm like scrolling Instagram, it's like what I see or it's the first couple seconds of the video.
it's what you see, what you hear, and what you feel too. Those three things that you focus on are super important. I'll explain it to you like this. A strong hook usually has one or more of these elements. So it's the curiosity, the emotion, the value, and the relatability, like if it's relatable. So with curious, you got to make people think, like for example, I need to know what happens next. They're gonna think about that. And the emotions, it triggers feelings like joy, empathy, or even just shock. And then the value is like a promise that is very clear that will benefit the person. That's more educational side. And then being relatable is like speaks directly to your audience problems or desires. So
Dude,
hook is like important. This is like straight up. like I'm spilling the secret sauce when it comes to videos, because I can't stress this enough. Your hooks are so important on every single video.
Oh my gosh, dude. Well, that is secret sauce released, 30 minutes into this episode, rewarding all of those people that listened this far in. That okay, hooks are what matters, and like that sounds so obvious, Brandon, when you say that.
Yeah, yes.
But that's something I would have never thought about. Is like, okay, yeah, I could go slave making a whole video, but if I can't get people to stop scrolling in the first 2 seconds, then it doesn't even matter, right? They're not even going to see the rest of the video. So, okay, hooks, super important. And I like your framework to think about it, because even myself, when I'm doom scrolling, I mean, I'm watching videos that I want to know what happens next after the first couple seconds.
Yes, yes. And like I'll give you an example too. Like today's video, like the hook that I'm posting, it's literally about, like I told you, I think what's this post going to be about? Oh, it's going to be about like what's the next chapter for Pete Coco. That's the subject of the video. But nobody cares about that, right? At the first 3 seconds. So what I say in the beginning is like 102 days ago, I took this beat up shop and turned it into the best premium pet grooming salon in Dallas. That catches the attention.
Love
And
it.
so that from there, I had them hooked. And now I'm talking about what the next chapter for Pete Coco is.
Okay, well, let's round it out there. Give us a sneak peek. By the time that this podcast airs, that video will already be out. What is the next chapter of Pete Coco?
That's a great question, actually. Our next chapter, short term at the moment, is giving and delivering the best services out there and taking care of our clients, building the best relationship there, but also partnering up now with a lot of communities, a lot of organizations out there. And then also now actually launching our products itself, which are collars, the leashes, more of the retail side. And then from there, just continue just being us, like that our brand doesn't change at all. Of course, make some improvements, but still be that friendly family dog grooming salon for anyone in Texas or anyone outside of the States or anything like that. Continuing taking care of all of our dogs, loving them so much, and not never allowing any kind of toxic environment affecting us. And so we just want to keep on having that kind of like good vibes, that you just know that you have a good time and a great experience over here at Picoco.
Dude, heck yeah. All right, Brandon. So you're proven, man, that age doesn't matter when it comes to building a brand. It's about, I wrote down the 3 C's: consistency, creativity, and connection. For listeners that want to follow the next chapter and the rest of you and Pete Coco's journey, or see even just some of these examples of your hooks in your content, what's the best place to find you guys online? Shout out a few of your handles that we can all go look at.
I would check out our page, Picoco Dog Grooming, at Picoco Dog Grooming on all of our platforms. But I would fit more, if you want to learn more, I will look into our Instagram and Facebook, because that's where you'll see more of our content popping. And then since it's also attached to my personal account as well, that's where I post more of broad videos of like more of like life lessons, business lessons, connections, adventure. That's where you learn more about like this kind of subject as well. And then that's just at Brandon Pedro 10 _. And then who else? Oh, and our partner, his name is Aaron Novinger. It's called at IBM _accounting. And the reason why is because I also run all of this marketing as well, social media. And I take my exact same strategy and take that on his account, but of course with a different niche. And so I would just see those as examples of what you can be posting and also learn. And then before I also like give the final one, this is someone that I don't even know or even have in contact, but I watch his content and I'm like, this is the key right here. And I've been following the strategy like him as well, and it's been working so much. His name is Rajan. He's opening up this luxurious cabin in Virginia. If
Dude,
you
I
look
know
him up,
who you're
you
talking
know
about.
him?
I know him. I love his.
Dude, no way. I love this
Good.
content so much. And
Yep.
all of his
No, exactly.
friends, you seen that he made the
I
collaboration
love,
videos?
I love it, man. They went out to Kansas
Oh
City.
my,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I can't believe you know them too, man. Oh my God.
That
That
is
I
awesome,
just,
man. Yeah, they are, for all the listeners, they're creating content about building a cabin. And it's kind of that behind the scenes footage that Brendan that you gave us in the beginning as a strategy. They're just, literally throwing up an iPhone and just showing you what goes in behind the scenes of building the cabin. And it's the same thing that you guys are doing over at the salon too.
yeah. And honestly, I would also check out, because it's more of a like real estate kind of business. But if for dog groomers out there, or for pet groomers, or anyone in the dog industry, you can also check out, just I forgot his name, but it's in the collaborations of Rajan, and he owns his bowling alley.
Yep.
That's more of a retail business, so you can sort of get an idea right there as well.
Love it, dude. Love it. Okay.
That's
We'll wrap it there, Brandon. I appreciate you so much for coming on and sharing so much about Pete Coco. I will definitely have to come up and check out the salon, man, because what you guys have
yeah,
built
man.
on digital presence is remarkable, and I'm sure that carries over to the physical presence as well. Thanks so much for coming on the pod, and I really just appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate every single second with you, man.
All right, and that's the pod, man.